Oh, it's the Cundy and Nathan Show.
Hello and welcome to episode 11 of the Cundy and Nathan podcast. My name is Nathan.
My name is Cundy Kalimera.
And he is back from Crete.
Yamas.
Is that a word that they say in Crete?
Yamas.
Is that the only word you know now?
Yamas. It's cheers.
Is it?
It's what they do when they put the old ouzo and the raki down on the table.
Oh.
Yamas.
Oh, yeah.
I learnt that. I got all the phrases. Kalimera is another one. You missed that.
Calamari.
Old Kalimera.
Not for me, mate. I don't like seafood.
There was a ferret's toe was the other one.
What?
A ferret's toe, which means thanks.
Right.
A ferret's toe.
I thought you was actually. I mean, that is niche. When would you actually need to know the? Is it Greek that they speak there? When would you ever need to know the Greek for a ferret's toe?
Well, no, that's how you remember thanks. It sounds like the Greek for thanks is apheristo, which sounds like a ferret's toe. That's how I remembered it in my little brain.
Yes.
My tiny little brain. Yamas! Kalimera!
You had a good holiday though? You had a good time?
Yamas! Did I have a good holiday? Yeah, it's cracking, mate.
Has it addled your brain? Are we gonna get these phrases throughout?
It addled my guts a bit with all the sun.
Oh.
I think the sun makes it all like melts all my poo and that.
Oh, what?
I think that's what happens. And they put it's the old small pipes over there, isn't it? So it's the old
small pipes, like
intestines. You're not meant to put toilet paper down the shithole, are you?
I think that's most places around the world, right?
No.
The Western world does, but I think for most part you're not supposed to.
I did anyway.
Do they in China?
I think they just do it on the streets in China.
Oh, mate, that is wow.
I think they do.
Wow.
I swear, my friend went to China and they said it was a very, very dirty country. Countryside was lovely. City dirty. People weren't very nice. Massive generalisation there.
Mate, come on. Think of our audience in China right now.
I've seen human poo on the street out here though, so there might have been a Chinese tourist over here, be like, look at these dirty bastards pooing on the streets.
As a child, I mean, this feels like a therapy session now, but as a child, I was forced to poo in the street once.
That is,
yeah.
You want to get on the couch, just.
Yeah, I was still in primary school, so what age would I have been? About 11, something like that.
Did your mum have like a poo bag?
No, my mum wasn't there. I was out with friends, and like I had a really bad stomach. And the lads that I was playing with, it was round near his house, and I was miles away from mine. It was round near his house, and I was like, "Oh, can I use your toilet?" He's like, "No, like mum's got friends in." It's like, "Oh, but seriously though, like I really."
Mum's got friends in. She's a prostitute.
Yeah, she's getting drilled from all angles, or her dad was, or his dad was, and I was like, "Oh, please, like I'm desperate, like I really need the toilet." And there's like, "No, like you're gonna like." There's nothing you can do. So I had to go down this like alley. It was lit as well. There was nowhere else to go, and I was like trousers down, pooing like a naughty dog in the alley.
Shaking like a shitting dog.
Shitting, having to use like dirty old leaves to wipe my bum. Although the rest of them was all stood down the alleyway laughing at me.
That's good, mates.
It's not scarred me that.
With friends like these, who need enemas.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not friends with them anymore.
I did a poo in the woods once when I was a kid. Well, I used to live in Cornwall. We had some woods on the back of our house, like backed onto their house.
Yeah.
Just got caught short there. I must have been about 4 or something. It's one of my earliest memories, actually. 4, yeah.
40, mate.
I might even been younger than 4 because I didn't live in Cornwall that long before we moved.
Yeah.
Across the bridge, like.
Yeah.
Got the passports out.
Yeah, well, we've started off at an absolute blinding pace here.
Yamas!
With stories of dodgy stomachs and pooing in the street. What was the actual thing that led us on to that? Oh, you had bad guts in Crete.
Well, I think the sun melts your poo. I think that's what happens.
I don't think the sun melts your poo. I don't think that's a thing. I think maybe the rich food and the different water was probably contributed to that, but not the actual sun melting it, because if anything, the sun just dries your poo.
Well, I'm sure it was a contributing factor to, but it was fine. It wasn't like I didn't have wasn't like Deli Belly or nothing. But their local beer over there is nice.
Should we move on? It feels a bit shitty, this podcast already.
I was about to start talking about their local beer. Mythos was quite nice.
Sounds like made up, that, mate.
Well, it's like a myth, isn't it?
I know, that's what. See, Cundy's he's not with it.
It had a really nice font on the bottle, and there's a unicorn is like their little logo thing.
Yeah.
So follow the unicorn.
Hence the joke. My joke worked, and you ruined it. So
yeah.
Have you got a few bottles of Mythos there? They look empty.
No,
I did
want to bring back a Mythos ale glass jar thing. Mrs. sometimes, because she'd nicked me one from where did we go? Mallorca or something. They had nice glasses over there. I was like, I like them. Got home, I'm like, where's this glass come from? She does that sometimes. She's got a problem.
And I wonder if I can get through to Interpol from here.
The amount of stuff she used to get in the bottom of the kids' pushchairs when she'd go IKEA. Woo boy. Night lights, here we go.
Holy
where's all these
shit.
tea lights coming from, love? Oh, I went IKEA again.
Wow. That is, come on now.
I'm only making it up. I'm not
crime spree.
You're making it up.
You're not. What's your address again? If there's any police officers listening.
IKEA aren't going to miss a few tea lights. I'm joking if IKEA's listening.
Just steal. Because they've got an abundance of things, it's fine to steal. Right, I'll remember that.
Swedish police will be on me case here now.
Exactly.
Do they have police in Sweden?
I think it's more pikemen.
Pikemen? What's that?
Yeah, like guys with like big pikes with, the sharp blade on the end.
Isn't that like Tripitaka from Monkey? He was like the fish man or something, wasn't he? Was that Tripitaka or was that one of the other ones? There's Pigsy Monkey and Tripitaka, isn't it?
I don't know, mate. You tell me.
He was a fish man, wasn't he?
You tell me.
I don't think he's Swedish.
That's way beyond my time.
Monkey! On his cloud. He was rocking.
Yeah, good. Brilliant. Are we still talking about games on this podcast? I know we had a little break last week with the pre-E3 special.
I listened to that yesterday, actually.
Oh, yeah.
E3 special, because I'd missed it.
No, the pre-E3 special. There's a reason why it's called pre-E3 special.
Because this is meant to be the E3 one now.
Yes, this is the pre-E3 special right now.
What else we've got left to talk about? It's pretty comprehensive last week. It's pretty good. Covered all the bases, like.
Oh, yeah.
Talked a bit about some games, and the trailer section was particularly enlightening.
The only blessing for our listeners was that it was only half an hour long. That's the only.
Well, this will be shorter because I don't know any more about E3 now than I did last week. Only joking. I'm more Yamas.
Good stuff. At this juncture, we usually talk about what games we have been playing, but I think as it is E3. And as there is like quite a few games that probably will be announced there, do you imagine couple of games they'll announce?
There will be a few, yeah. Because I haven't played any new games is more like
exactly. Yeah.
Let's talk about games we haven't played.
Well, let's talk about the games that we're most looking forward to playing that are going to be that we're going to see more of at E3. So I was gonna start with. Mafia 3, but I think I spoke about that on a podcast recently. I think it's well oiled on this podcast. I think Mafia 3. We've talked about it quite a bit. So I'll let you kick off with a game.
I quite like it though because it gives me a chance to talk about New Orleans. But we won't do that. Oh, well, I was just going to talk about The Last Guardian, but I talked about that last time as well. But I'm going to stay with it because I've got more information about it.
All right, go on then.
Because I read Edge. I bought Edge for the plane, see?
Look at me. I am a refined gamer. Look at me.
Dad, can I read your games comic? You're talking about his Edge. Fucking highbrow kids. Look at these words in it.
You had it open, but you had the Beano inside, didn't you?
I was just reading the safety instructions. Put my head through there and then put that over my mouth. The Last Gardener.
Yes.
Do you know what? I was reading it. This is like their big cover feature in Edge. I was reading it and I was concerned. I must say, I was concerned
for Edge or for the game.
For the game because it's been in development 20 odd years now or something. It was originally coming out on the Atari. Stone Age or whatever it was.
Atari Lynx, wasn't it? Launch title.
And the game for Meteor Ida, he was only 6 when he started making it. Just like the idea he did in crayons, and it's gone from there. The guy said he was playing it. The guy who did the write up for Edge, and he said like sometimes the creature wouldn't behave right, and because it's still going to be like it's your favourite thing, like you didn't like Ico because you're leading this thing, you're leading someone around. It's kind of like it's not like a permanent escort mission the entire game, but it's at
Yeah,
but
I know.
He said that even at this stage, I mean, he didn't say even at this stage, but I read it and
read between the lines.
Even at this stage, that it seems like the interactions between the kid and the cat don't always work. Which is surely a worry, considering they're still aiming for a 2016 release.
Yes.
I mean, in it, he just said, they just kind of went, we can adjust that on the old. It's like, well, surely all of that stuff should have been done by now. I would have thought. I mean, I would have thought even all the fine tuning would have been done now. Surely they're just in the final stretch of like super polish stuff. I wouldn't have thought they'd be still messing around with like the cat AI, would you?
The cat AI. I mean, you can't. If they have based it on a cat, then that is true to life because you can't get a cat to go anywhere. They should have made it a bird dog rather than a bird cat.
Yeah, well, I don't know what it's
obedient.
Still, I just call it a cat anyway. I want it to be a cat. I like cats.
I know you do. I know.
Cat. He's called Cat. Top Cat. Hello, Arthur Skipper.
Sounds like Crap Cat at the moment if he's not bloody following you around.
But I was a bit worried about that. So I mean, you would think it was going to be playable at E3, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's not playable at E3 if they are still tinkering at this late stage with stuff like that. Because making it playable and having like mass problems like that could be quite damaging for it, I imagine, because it would just make. I just had alarm bells going off in my head. But then that's because I started smoking in the toilet on the airplane. But...
Yeah. You were warned about that. It was in that. The leaflet, the safety leaflet that you was reading as well.
I didn't think it picked up like crack pipe smoke. I thought it'd be fine, mate.
All smoke, mate. I told you that. I told you.
So that was. I mean, it still sounds amazing and it looks like it's going to be great. And I'm still going to play the hell out of it for sure. Yeah. But I was just slightly like. What do you mean it's not working right? I don't want to hear this. I don't want to hear this after 40 years of a game being in development. It should be done. It should be smooth and ready and polished. And so for E3, I'll be really interested to see what's going on with it.
Well, I was just going to say, and I was meant to do this right at the top of the show, but he started talking about poo and stuff like that.
Ran away with us. Didn't
just literally got the runs, and it went away from us. But yeah, I was going to mention like the last week or so. There seems to be a hell of a lot of games that have been like shown off, demos released, like early footage. And it just seems like this is I don't know, maybe it's been happening like the past few times, but it really felt like publishers were sort of controlling their own destiny this time by releasing all of their demos, their early trailers like now, because I think they've shown off the new Destiny, is it Iron and Blood or something like that? The Destiny package, the DLC package.
Yeah.
Then there was Watch Dogs.
That
was announced as well. Then
it's actually got dogs in it, isn't it?
Yeah, it's got dogs in it. Yeah.
I'm not interested in that at all. Are you interested in that? Sorry, you're making a point here.
No,
I'm not. Over it.
No, it's fine. But no, there's been a few others as well, which have been like, here's the new Schmernemer, here's the new Schmanamar.
That looks good, that.
But the Schmernemer and Schmanamar, well, they're two games that I'm looking forward to the most. So I was disappointed that they weren't showcased at E3. But honest to God, like it seems strange this year because there's already been this there's been a few publishers that have said we're not actually going this year for starters, so we're not having our big conferences. I think Nintendo are staying away this year, aren't they?
Yeah, I think they got like a live stream, haven't they?
Yeah, so they're doing their Nintendo Direct, and I think more and more people will end up doing this. Sony and Microsoft, I think they still have to They still have to be there because it's their show now. Nintendo can do whatever they want to try and get back in place. But it just feels like, I don't know, a bit of the shine, a bit of the gloss has disappeared from it.
I think Nintendo, I mean, I don't think they're playing the game at all, really. They've just got the Zeldas, that's it. That's all that's going to be on the show floor, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think...
I might be wrong about that.
I think
Potentially I am.
You've been wrong before, and you will be again, to be fair. But I think...
I suppose they're keeping it dry because they're not... that NX new thing is not...
Well, they've got the NX, then there's the PlayStation Neo, the 4.5 or whatever it is, and then there's the new Microsoft Xbox 1.5 or whatever it'll be.
Watch Dogs.
With Watch Dogs. So I'm sure there'll be like things that, I don't know. The show will still be exciting because there'll still be lots to reveal with games and hardware. But it just feels like this time they're making their first steps. Publishers are making their first steps at sort of like controlling everything, their own message. They're not being bound by we're only going to announce it on this date at our conference.
Yeah.
It's like Rockstar, I guess, as well. Like they've always stayed away from, or they have stayed away from E3 for like the last 5 years, 6 years.
It's too many moving parts for someone like Rockstar. Too many moving parts that can all fucking go wrong. And one bad demo or one bad thing, it can end something, you know.
I can hear a car alarm going off outside your house. Are you being robbed again?
There's two of them.
Is someone jumping on cars?
It's like Bristol's won the World Cup, but everyone's driving through the streets.
Have a look out the window. See if they're jumping out on the cars, mate.
They're not. It's fine. I'm
stopped?
sure it'll stop in a bit. No, it's still going. Let's stop now.
Good. We can carry on.
Bit of ambient urban noise.
Well, we've got to hurry up because otherwise they'll be drilling outside our house again. Outside our apartment.
I'll tell you what, though. I think this E3 could be a tricky one for Sony out of everyone because I think they've got it all to lose because they got such a lead over Xbone, and they're in danger of wandering into that kind of complacent territory that they were when they made the transition from PS2 to PS3.
See,
and they fucked it.
I think that will always be the ghost that haunts them and makes them, spooks them enough so that they will never slip back into that complacency. I know obviously mistakes can happen from big companies again, like, you know, they repeat their mistakes, but it's unlikely that they will go like, they won't rest. There's no way they're resting on this. I mean, even they're signalling their intentions with the PlayStation 4.5 and also the VR headsets, which will inevitably be packaged with them. Like, that suggests that they're not going to just relax. But I am interested to see how Xbox counteracts, or how Microsoft counteracts their poor showing for the last couple of years. They've got it all to gain. They can win just by putting on a seriously good performance, but who knows?
Well, it's going to be interesting to see what they do with whether the console, the 4.5 or whatever you want to call it, is how they handle that.
We've gone slightly off topic here because we were talking about the games that we're most looking forward to playing, aren't we? So I'll try and get us back on side right. How do we get us back on side right? Bowel movements, we've done that.
Say again? What game? I said The Last Gardener.
Well, this might be an obvious one, and people might be like, people might be like, yeah, whatever, right? Okay, it's going to be the same again. But FIFA 17. Champion.
See, all the England fans have started making a good impression in France.
Already been tearing up Marseille. It's what they do best.
Fucking scumbags.
Yeah, it is. It's terrible.
Don't give them anything nice. They just
don't give them any, like, a little bird just flew into our window. Don't give a little sparrow trying to come in. We don't need to give the hooligans any airtime, do we? Sorry. But I do want to play FIFA 17, and it's one of the games that I'm looking forward to out of E3. Now, the reason being is, Matthew, I don't know if you've actually seen it, but they released the teaser trailer, so they was one of these companies, EA was one of the companies that was like, hey, look at our new game that's 2 weeks or a week before E3. And it's like, right, okay, this is usually a big one that you usually show on the show floor or during your conference, but this time they released a little teaser trailer beforehand, and not only did they have like Jose Mourinho, new Manchester United manager, talking over the top of it, which means that he's played some sort of role in helping out with the final game, but they're moving to a new game engine. And their new game engine is the Frostbite game engine. The one that DICE have made for Battlefront and Battlefield.
So you're saying FIFA's going to have guns in it and buildings that collapse?
I think basically there's going to be lots of explosions. They'll like kick the ball and it'll just blow up. Like you'll see it. It'll hit Rooney and Rooney will just like explode.
Well, it's actually quite a sensitive topic, isn't it? In light of the events in France not long ago.
I wasn't even trying to pin it with that. And like, why have you done
that?
Well, you did that. Why have you brought it in?
I made the connection in my head, and other people.
And then your inner monologue just went, "Oh, you should probably say that. That'd make good air time. I should probably just talk about that
on the podcast, mate."
Wasn't the elephant on the podcast? People would have just gone, "Oh yeah, I'm winking that with Battlefield," but no. Now you've gave.
Well, I'm sure it won't have explosions in because EA wouldn't do that. Because
anyway, the reason why.
It's bad for their business model.
The reason why I think that it'll be interesting this year is because Pro Evolution moved over to the Fox engine for the past couple of seasons.
Metal Gear 1.
Yeah, and apparently the previews that have come out for. What did you say then? I didn't hear it. Do you want me to go on out? No. What did you say?
I said it had stealth in it. Tactical espionage football.
Yeah, you're right. It wasn't worth coming back to that. But yeah, they apparently the new Pro Evo's amazing. Like they've said that the game engine is just fantastic this year. But with FIFA. It'd be interesting to see what they do because they have used a sort of variation of the same system, of the same engine for quite a while, and they even mention during their teaser trailer, they even say, like they make reference to the fact that people say that football never changes, which is a sort of like a dig at the FIFA engine, the FIFA game never changes.
Yeah.
So this is like their full, shall we say, evolution. I've said it.
Oh, that's so their competitors called Pro Evolution.
Exactly. So I think this will be the first sort of departure from what we have known FIFA to be for the last sort of 20 million years.
No, it'll still be. I was playing what one's out now? FIFA 16.
Yeah.
I didn't even know. I thought I was playing FIFA 15. I play my mate's kid whenever I go around there.
Yeah.
Still got it, mate. Still got the skills. I didn't even know. I thought we were still playing FIFA 15.
I'll choose your team, mate. Here you go. You can be China, and I'll be Brazil.
He did try and put. What did he do? He put like my striker in goal or something like that.
Classic kids trick.
Classic.
Love that. Love it.
I can't. I'll play it, of course I will, but I can't get that excited about it. It will just still be football, and I'll be able to sit down and play it instantly because it's like riding a bike in it. All the buttons are still the same. I know kick and shoot.
But how much can they change it? I mean, what else do they need to do? It's
nothing.
Surely...
They don't need to do anything.
Yeah,
I mean, I sit down and play
right?
it. I can't get that excited about it because it's just going to be like a better version of the previous one. It's just going to be the new iteration, but at its core, you can't do anything. I mean, Mario Soccer, is it, with rainbow balls or anything?
Although, if they just added like an element of that, like to just sort of like fun arcade mode, like I know they've got FIFA Street, but they could just use like Rainbow Trail on the ball or something like that for exhibition games. Something that you unlock because FIFA's really po-faced at the moment. I know it copies football, and I've not played PES for a while, so I can't comment on that. But yeah, like football's supposed to be fun. And it's
Sepp Blatter's having fun. Look at the fun he's having.
Well, he's going to be having fun in prison soon.
I fucking hope so, mate.
If you can call fun being shivved up,
maybe
fearing for your life at every turn.
He'll be all right. He'll have mates.
Yeah,
Jesus.
he'll pay people.
Mate.
Did you see recently that Jerome Valke and someone else had been caught. They transferred $55 million or something like that to their own accounts as compensation for something arbitrary. They just decided to give themselves $55 million shared between the three of them.
They should have like a corrupt officials mini game or something in there, or just like FIFA or something.
I'm not sure how the FIFA license would respond to that. To be fair,
you probably wouldn't be able to get away with it, I suppose.
Yeah, suddenly you'd see all the proper kits and names in Pro Evo.
They could see it. They could like secretly hide it in there, like hot coffee or something. Someone could do it. If I worked,
because that worked out well, didn't it? No controversy around that whatsoever. I think isn't it 10 years like this week since hot coffee?
No.
I think I saw somewhere, yeah. It's like 10 years.
No.
No.
No. I think it was. I lose track with games, so I don't know.
And life in general. Just constantly forgetting things. Do you know who I am?
Hello? Yamas!
Hello! Anyway, I'm hoping that the what's the engine called again? That's my thing. Yeah, I'm hoping that the Frostbite engine is used more than simply making the faces look better, because I think that's what the trailer sort of alluded to, the fact that there was going to be more sort of like facial expressions in the likes of Eden Hazard, and that was something that Battlefield does quite well. Right. But I'm hoping that the engine is used to sort of do more for the actual game, the overall gameplay.
I tell you what would be quite good. It would be like if you hit the ball against your opponent, wherever it hit them, like that body part fell off and just was stayed on the pitch.
I mean, that is riffing on the ball hitting Rooney and he explodes. So,
wait, did that happen?
Yeah.
What, that happened in a game?
Yeah, did you not hear? They had to call a new player up. Happened in training recently.
I'm talking about in a video game. I know that wouldn't happen in real life unless someone had tampered with the ball.
Yeah, how would that happen?
That would be some serious tampering.
It would be.
Gaffer, this ball's making a funny ticking noise. I don't know if that's how Rooney talks. Probably not.
Well, considering he's from Liverpool, Merseyside, I think you're probably a little bit off there.
Hey, mate.
There you go. There you go.
Hey, mate. This ball's making a funny ticking sound.
That sounds
Gaffer.
That sounds like him. You've done well there.
Yeah, so you could hit it against someone's leg and be like the Dark Knight or whatever from Monty Python, like all your limbs just fall off and then you just hop in.
The Black Knight.
The Black Knight, that's it, something like that. Dark Knight, Black Knight.
Yeah, Black Knight.
That'd be alright.
Yeah.
I'll play that.
Okay,
that'd be interesting if they did that.
Maybe they'll reveal that at E3. we live in hope. Anyway, what's the
dismemberment mode?
What's the other game? What's the other game?
Well, do you know what? This and this kind of neatly ties in with my holiday, actually.
Here we go. Here we go.
Yamas! Do you know what I'd really like? And I don't know if it's going to be there. I would like to play another God of War.
Oh, well, there has been mention of that.
There's been rumorations, isn't there, of the Norse, him shifting from wherever it is he is in the Mediterranean to somewhere else colder. Norseland.
Up to Norseland. To like Scandinavia.
Yeah, so there's rumours of it. Well, I think it is. And they're definitely working on it. Santa Monica, aren't they? They're definitely working on a thing. But it's because I was playing before I went on holiday. Did I tell you I've been on holiday? Before I went on holiday,
that's all you've been talking about.
The PS Plus game, the Vita one, was God of War, Ghost of
Sparta,
Ghost of Yamas, and I was playing that, and I thought, you know what? It's been a long time since I played a God of War game, well, since God of War 3, I suppose.
Yeah.
And I still really enjoy it. The Vita one I played, which was the redo of the PSP one.
Yeah.
It still looked really good. Still looks solid, even though it's just had an upspuff for the Vita.
Yeah.
But it felt like nice and familiar. But I'd love to see what Santa Monica would do with the big God of War 4 on the PS4.
Yeah, I think it'd be amazing. I think it'd be properly gruesome, obviously. Wasn't there some Norse mythology in it last time? Wasn't there none? Was there? Hang on. Norse. Go on, keep talking, mate.
You want to get on the trail of this? You'd be like Inspector Norse, because you're on the trail of it.
Don't you ever do that again.
Norse code.
No, stop that.
I bet in the end studio, when they say, have you got a new build for it, they'd say, oh, here's the latest Norse code.
Stop it.
I bet they're all just laughing all the time about that. But yeah, could it be? Could they? Santa Monica said they were going to work on it. It's happening, and it's happening. They were going to finish working on the remaster, the God of War, and that's done now. So what else are they doing? They're not sitting around all smoking hubbly-bubbly pipes.
They might be.
I don't think that has anything to do with Norse mythology, hubbly-bubbly pipes. It's like...
what was you trying to say? That are you saying like shisha pipes? That's hubbly-bubbly pipes. Is that what you're talking about? Shisha out here, mate.
Rodney, you plonker. Hubbly-bubbly. All right, Dave.
How do we get to Only Fools and Horses? What
was interesting playing Chains of Ghost of Vater.
Yeah.
What's it called? Yeah. Ghost of Ussenvater. Ussenvater is the Austrian or German for exit. So above all their doors in Austria. Does Austria have the same language as Germany? I don't know.
Yeah.
Like you say that like you don't know, you just guess.
You don't, and you're still asking me.
Ussenvater is the word for exit, which is pretty interesting, yeah? So if you go to the cinema, or if you get on a German plane, they'll say your stewards are going to be pointing out your nearest Ussenvater.
I don't think they'll say your stewards are pointing out the nearest Ussenvater. I think they'd probably say it fully in German, and then you wouldn't be able to understand them.
It has many languages, including German, Austro-Bavarian, Australian.
There we go.
Armenian. So God of War. That's what I'd like to play. That's what I said. So
hang on. I think God of War will probably be the last thing. You know, they always have at the end of their conferences. It's like, and there we go. Like, thanks for coming today. Blah de blah, shmurny mur. And then it's like, there is just one more thing. Like, like Columbo turning around. Just one more thing. And he turns around. And then he reveals Twisted Metal.
I was just going to say, I think I've given up on those moments because the last one, it was like, are they coming back out?
The Twisted Metal one was so bad.
Such a squib, wasn't it?
I mean, as a spectacle, it was great, but as an actual, like, holy shit, this game, this is their showcase game. This is their big one. This is the fireworks.
Just the sound of a deflating balloon.
Yeah.
And everyone's slowly getting up because, like, that's the end, isn't it? That is really the end.
That is really the end. This is
everyone just slowly like dispersing and like,
exactly. Disappointment etched on their faces. And the other game that I was looking forward to, or am looking forward to seeing more of, is Battlefield 1. 2 EA games, but I think they're making a good comeback at the moment. EA.
Sport.
With the games that they're doing. I know the two that I've picked are properly like for the masses, but I do think that they're onto a winner with Battlefield 1, I reckon.
Well, they got Mass Effect as well, which I'm interested in. I don't know why I'm interested in it.
The future war thing, I just think it's just played out. I mean, video games since the dawn of time have all been about like the future and what to sort of like, what to kill in the future. Whereas now it feels like the time is right. It's gone full circle. It's gone like it's gone World War One, World War Two, current day, future war, space war, and then it's had to go right. Start again. We've saturated that market, and it's back to world wars again.
It's just human nature to always planning ahead. Like once they've killed everything in present day, they want to start making plans like what they can kill. The future. Just keep killing. Keep killing.
So, speaking of that, I saw the bit more of that. What's that game called that Guerrilla are bringing out? The one that you don't like the look of.
Horizon, the Clamad one.
Yeah.
Robot animals, I love you.
Yeah. Since you mentioned the robot animals angle, like about how strange it is, like, yeah, I can't get my head around it now. I think I would have preferred it if it was just like proper dinos.
Yeah. What's that? Zoids or something? Is it Zoids? We decided.
Did we do this last time?
Yeah, it's like Zoids the game.
Dinobots.
Like, she's there stroking it. Oh, I've killed you. I've hunted you with my bow and arrow metal machine beast. I must pay homage to your greatness. So it's a fucking robot talking about.
I have force quit you out of life.
Because I mean, it's not even like they look anything like other than robots. They just look like robots. It's like, what are you talking about? It's just if they like were machine animals and they all had like authentically looked.
Yeah, like if they was like the animatronic sort of dinosaurs or something like that.
Yeah, but it's not. It's just like, I don't get it. It's too much of a, what do they call it when two things don't quite anachronistic.
Did you just look that up, or did you know?
No, it's written on the wall up there. You might see, just slowly look up towards
just
the
list of buzzwords that you're going to use on the podcast this week.
It's either disingenuous or anachronistic, and I'm pretty sure it's anachronistic is the one I wanted.
Right. Well,
like, it doesn't go the time like
going
for it. It's like cavemen mixed. Yeah. So make up your mind. Do you want it to be in the past or in the bloody future?
But I think they want the
sick of it.
I think they want the mix of both, don't they? They want to.
Well, they can't have it.
Right, well, all right. Well, I'm not telling you.
Calling time on Gorilla. They don't know what they're doing.
Right. Close it down. Shut it down, lads.
Well, it might be great. I doubt it, though. It's too worthy.
I know what you mean. And the old the robot animal thing doesn't end there either. There's one that's coming out for Xbox as well, isn't there? What's it called?
Oh, you're talking about the...
It's like a robot dog.
Like... It's going to be like Marley and Me, or it's going to be like Clifford the big red dog, or it's going to turn out Hooch. That was a good one.
What was the other one? Was it Digby? Digby, the biggest dog in the world.
He was big, that dog. Imagine the size of his shits. They never showed that, did they?
No.
And scoop that up. You need more than a complete bag.
Was it Digby? Was it actually Digby?
Digby, the massive dog with the huge dumps.
Was it green screen then? I can't remember. It's been so long since I watched it.
It's a cartoon, mate. You got twisted in the brain.
No, there was another one, like a live action one. I remember.
What, the massive dog?
Yeah.
You're thinking of Lassie, mate.
Digby.
And because you were younger, he looked really big on the telly.
Oh yeah, because I was smaller and my eyes were smaller. Yeah. Biggest dog. Hang on, come on.
I like films with dogs in.
Digby the biggest dog.
Yeah.
Was it a cartoon?
Yeah, mate.
Children's film.
Can't tell the difference.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
Is it? Was it not?
No.
What? Oh, you're looking at images now. Well, that's crazy.
Spike Milligan was in it.
Spike Lee did it?
Yeah, Spike Lee.
One to the one I'm thinking
and
of.
Spike Milligan were in it.
Oh, God.
This one, I'll show you. Yeah, it must have been green screen. It must have been green screen. I'm going to
I stand directed.
I'm going to send it to you so that you can see the pictures of it. And we'll put these up on the Podbean site as well. I still do think, I'm just leaning towards this again, and I'm just like thinking out loud, but I do still think we need a website where we can sort of put these things, where we can just sort of link back to them. Maybe I'm just going to do a website. I don't care if you want one or not. I'm just going to build it.
They will come.
Can you see it? Have you seen the images?
No, I'm not clicking on it, because if I click on it in Skype, it takes me out of... It opens up fucking Firefox or something. It just annoys me.
Just look at it.
I'm not doing it.
You have to look at it. I need you to see it. I need you to see it, because on that thing, on that list of Google images that I've sent you as well, there is a... which was apparently part of Digby the biggest dog in the world, a monkey, a chimp, in a scientist's overcoat, chasing a lady in a miniskirt down a corridor.
I didn't know this at all, mate. This is all news to me.
It's a big Dulux dog.
It is. It reminds me more of the goodies when they had that thing rampaging like Dougal from rampaging through the streets.
So you've never seen it then?
Never seen it, mate.
Oh, right, I have. So there you go. Here he was, like trying to make out like it was some sort of madman. Can you see the monkey, the chimp? Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chimp.
Going for it.
Street race the other day. That's got a good chimp in it.
Where are we? Oh man, I feel like I'm spinning out.
But you started it.
I know.
The massive Dulux dog.
Well, it's there. It's there now. Where was we? How did we end up talking about this?
Oh, imagine if he gets his lipstick out.
Oh, mate.
Put it away, Digby.
It'd be less like a lipstick and more like a roller, I reckon.
The biggest dog cock in the world.
Come on, mate.
Come on, let's get this back on E3 on track.
What made us talk about the big dog? Oh, that's it. That robot dog
started talking about Battlefield.
What the hell was that? What is that game actually called though? Is it Home Is it Homeland or something like that?
What game?
The one with the robot dog that we were talking about.
Oh, I don't know. I was thinking of something else, but then there's a game with a dragon in it. Good things with S. Imagine if they did another layer. That would be good. Wouldn't it? Was it called Layer? That terrible one when they did the.
They did though, didn't they? They brought it out again. The one with the one that was like old school cartoon.
No, motion control.
I've gone all cartoon crazy. You put cartoons on my brain now. I know which one you mean. The one with the 6-axis controls.
Yeah.
What an absolute shite house that was. Terrible.
That was a good E3 when they had Warhawk and that as well, and he was doing the really exaggerated.
Man. That second game, the Starhawk one, just died on its arse. Sorry, go on.
It was better as well, that wasn't it?
Apparently so. I loved Warhawk.
Yeah, I didn't play it though.
There you go. How do you know?
That's good.
Hang on 1 second. I'd like to give, before we end this section of the games that we'd like to play from E3, I'd like to give a special mention to For Honor as well. I think it was shown at an E3 like either last year or the year before, but it's Ubisoft's Night game, like where it's all proper hack and slash instead of shoot you bang bang.
Right.
And it looks like it's got a little bit of a taste of what's that game? Bacon. Yeah, there's a bit of bacon in there, and a little bit of. Oh man, my brain is coffee addled. I feel like I'm losing it, mate.
I can't help you.
Dynasty Warriors.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, looks a little bit like that as well.
Did you like that? Did you?
I'm not a massive fan of Dynasty Warriors, but I do like the fact when it's like I do like the fact that the For Honor is giving. It's not just about guns. I do like the fact that it's like taking it back to the old choppy, slicey. I want an Onimusha basically, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, you want to play that Nio, the demo that was out the other day, that Nio, whatever it's not Nio. What was it called? I can't remember. That's called
Nier.
Nier.
Yeah.
Near, far, wherever you are. Before we wrap this bit up, then I was going to say, I'm still interested in seeing that untitled Star Wars game, the one that we weren't sure if it had been canned. You know, the one that the Visceral
did.
Amy Hennig doing it.
Yeah.
Still really interested in that. Visceral, good. Amy Hennig, good. Star Wars, good.
Yeah.
And apparently it's not going to tie into doesn't have to tie into any, like canon. It can be its own thing.
Okay.
So they've got the creative license, autonomy to be, obviously this has to be set within the Star Wars universe, but make their own thing, make their own new character, do whatever.
Interesting. So they could make Jar Jar Binks as the lead character and
he's
a badass. Like he
Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah, just leaving like a dirty trail behind him everywhere he moves.
You could play as one. You could play as a Huttie. I don't know what species he is.
It'd be interesting if they just flipped the whole thing and it was like the dark side were the good guys.
No.
Yeah, no, I'm saying it. I'm saying it. I'm sticking with it.
It's a hard argument to, I'm surprised they managed to recruit as many people as they did. But there you go. Look at the kicking Nazis. Jesus.
Oh, you have to bring the bloody podcast down all the time, right? Let's have a break. Let's have a break and move on.
It's the
Cundy and Nathan show, yeah.
As it's the E3 special.
Yamas.
And as we've both been there. Are you just going to keep saying that?
Calimera! Ferret.
So, as it's the pre-E3 special, and as we've been there, we've obviously taken in the atmosphere and the sort of and what it's got to offer in LA. When we've been there, the squalor and filth of it all. And it's interesting sort of seeing people, former colleagues, and also the games industry at large, kind of complaining about having to go there. They do this every year. So it got us thinking, like, how would we improve E3? How would we change it? What would we do? There's been rumours that the format would change. They had a go at it a few years ago, and then reverted back to type because it didn't quite work. There's been talk of moving it to Vegas because it's a bit more sort of, exciting than travelling around in LA. But we thought, let's do it. Let's pretend that we're on the council. Let's have a few ideas for how we'd improve it.
It's just the Jedi Council. We're back to Star Wars again.
Yeah, back to Star Wars. Back to Star Trek again.
Back to Star Wars we are. We three improve, we shall.
So go. Let's do it. How would you improve it?
Right, my first one.
Yes, go on.
To work down my list. We'll have one each.
Hit me.
I'd have it in Bristol for a start.
Right, excellent.
Because then I won't have to travel anywhere. I don't have to travel anywhere, so I'm not going. So I don't know what to talk about.
Exactly.
But it'd be a lot easier, wouldn't it?
For you specifically?
Yeah.
Yeah. And for the rest of the world?
Well, they've had it over there for a while. Just, make them do a bit of travelling.
Right, okay.
Well, I expect some of them would appreciate it. They'd probably get sick again. Oh, I've got to go LA again. She's got to do another...
Yeah.
Relive... because they might be like, oh, why does it have to be in LA? Why can't we get to go? They probably look at it like, oh, look at all the foreign journalists. They get to go on a plane and all that, and we just take the old the company Winnebago and drive down and park it up outside and sleep under the stars.
Wasn't there talk of getting a Games Radar bus, driving the Games Radar bus to LA?
In Sunshine Variety bus, that would have been.
I think there was, or maybe it was Gamescom. I'm sure there was. That's never happening.
That would have been a laugh. That would have been a laugh, wouldn't it? Do like a proper road trip.
I'm sure there's the PRs. I think it was Premier PR and a few other people did an actual bus that took people from the UK to Gamescom.
It would have to be a proper lush bus. I'm saying that now.
I think it was quite a nice bus.
I'd want a proper I'm in a band. I'm on a tour bus.
Yeah.
I've got room to swing a cat in here.
I've been on one of those before. It was quite nice.
A megabus doesn't count.
Oh, all right, okay. Cool.
Megabus with some of the seats removed.
Yeah, well,
torn out en route.
Well, it turns out I wasn't on a glamorous bus then. There we go.
Because otherwise, it's just a bus.
So if it was in Bristol then, what type of Bristol things would it have to include then?
Well, nothing once you're inside it. That's the thing. Once you're inside a thing, big shell, it could be anywhere in the world.
So what you're saying is how to improve E3 would just be to move it closer to you because it's closer and to be honest, you probably won't go anyway, but at least you'd know it was on your doorstep.
Yeah, well, the next one on my list kind of fits in the same thing. Is point 2 of how I'd improve E3 is that I'd be the only person there.
Right,
so
okay.
It would be in Bristol.
That would mean a lot of work for you. Is that why you're saying it? A lot of freelance work?
Well, no, I just wander around and just play stuff that I wanted to play. No one hassling me, not having to talk to anyone.
Are there actually people there to show you how the game works or anything like that? Or is it just...
work it out. I've been playing fucking games for 35 years.
I mean, I've seen you playing games, and I think you would definitely need someone there to show you, or at least a manual.
I could work. If I can't work out how to play it, then they're doing something wrong.
They're doing something wrong. So far, it feels like E3's being catered specifically for you.
Well, you said how would I improve it, and that's how I'd improve it. I'm thinking mostly, these are selfish reasons, admittedly, moving it to Bristol and me being the only person there.
Yeah.
Unlikely, but there was no cap.
I know. I mean, the third point that you're going to make will probably be all inclusive. But come on, let's hear it.
What do you want? Another point?
I thought you got another point. Oh no, you say yours, and then I'll do mine afterwards. Go on.
I'd have all the conferences on the same stage at the same time, so they'd all have to be competing at once, and whichever one was more interesting.
Yeah.
How you have often. Well, I say often.
I can't think of any situation. Whatever you're about to say next, I can't think of anything that would relate to what you're about to say.
I'm kind of thinking a bit like the bit in Life of Brian where, so this is going back a bit to Jesus' days.
Oh God!
They have people talking trying to preach their preachness to you, and they're all kind of compete with each other. It's kind of like that, but it'd be even louder because it'd be trailers and that going as well.
So how would they compete though? Would they be able to turn their sound system up louder than the rest of them? Would it always have to be the same sort of sound, or
no, it'd just be like a cacophony?
Right. How would they get more people to look at their thing then? How would that work?
Well, that's not for me to work out. I've given them the idea. They've got to do that. I can't think of everything, can I? It's just like... for
the purposes of this section, yes, you do have to think of everything.
Well, that's how it... Well, I've thought of it, and I'd let them work it out. That's the fine detail there. I'd let whoever... The conference people would have to work that out. They'd put up some, like, partitioning wall in or something. They couldn't be but just something to keep them apart somehow. I don't know. Be quite interesting to see. I'd watch it, definitely. And at least then it's all done, isn't it? You don't have to. I've got to stay up watch this.
Right. I think you might be onto something there. But I don't think they'd go for it. First of all,
right.
So I think you should probably write up another draft.
Right.
Of how you're going to improve it.
I'll revise that one.
Yeah. I'll revise that, and then we'll send it off.
Back to the drawing board.
But I think a way to make that work would be to give everyone in the audience, well, for this E3 in Bristol, where there's only you that's watching it, they give each person a headset and a handset that's just got 3 buttons on it.
Yeah.
And then you can flick between the 3. So they're presenting. They're just presenting anyway. Doesn't matter whether they're listening to it. So like the whole hall is like they can't hear anything. It's like deathly quiet apart from through their headphones.
Like a silent disco.
And then,
talking about.
Yeah, and then they press the button and they go, oh, I'm not feeling this one on the Xbox, so I'm going to listen to the Nintendo one. Or I'm not feeling this Nintendo one, I'm going to listen to the Sony one instead.
I guess that would be like a real time. Who's interested in what? Like version of, so you get your stats.
I tell you what, marketeers would be sopping wet thinking of something like that. If they could pull something like that off, they'd love it.
Because then you'd have a visual indication straight away who's won E3, the one with the biggest. Or they'd have to do more and more outrageous things to get a crowd.
Yeah, exactly, and that would make it more of a showcase, I think.
Yeah, I think you've made it too sensible. That's like,
and then they'd have
a cacophony.
Well, hear me out. Then they could have, like you said, they would have to do something. They'd have to make it like reasons for people to watch. So the God of War demo, they tear an actual head off some sort of mythical animal.
They did that to a goat, didn't they? They got in trouble for it at some Sony party once.
They did, yeah.
I don't know if they actually tore its head off.
No,
they killed it there, didn't they? Did
no,
they kill it?
No. It had
Dead.
been pre-killed.
What's the problem with it then?
I think it was just because they sliced it open there, so it was already dead. But they ripped it open and then they made each journalist get inside it,
like Han Solo on Hoth. Yeah. And I thought they smelled bad on the outside.
Was it Han Solo that slept inside it? I thought it was Luke, wasn't it?
No, definitely Han. They both slept in it because Luke got hit, but he got kidnapped by the Whopper monster thing and hung upside down in the ice cave.
That's it.
But he used the Force and escaped.
Yeah.
But he used the Force to get through a blizzard because he's a twat.
Right.
And he didn't refit. He should have just stayed in the cave. He'd already killed the monster. Stay in the cave. It's warm.
What if more monsters came though?
Well, the Whopper, he looked pretty lonely. I don't think he had any kids. The state of the place didn't look like they had a woman's touch. There's bones everywhere.
How do you know the Whopper wasn't a woman?
Ah, good point. I don't. I didn't see. He didn't have breasts.
Well, there you go. But it's not a typical male.
Didn't have cock and balls either.
There we go.
Whopper.
There we go.
Heard it here first.
There you go. So yeah, I mean they could do that. I like that idea.
Yeah. I got more. Do you want me to keep going?
Yeah. Oh well, shall I throw one in?
Yeah, I'm halfway through.
Okay. Well, I've got sensible ones. So.
Come on, mate.
I say sensible.
We'll see in railway.
Well, one of the sensible ideas was to have special cinema screenings of all the presentations. So
around the country.
Yeah, around the world at different locations. Because I think that would be, it would draw people in to sort of experience that sitting in the auditorium and experiencing the games as they're going live and everything, and seeing them on a massive screen. It's not like it happens every day, is it? That you see Bobby Kotick's massive face on a giant IMAX.
Thank God.
Yeah. So I think that would be. What's that, mate? What's going on?
Some massive flying insect.
Oh no!
Jesus, live action. Where's it gone? It's gone from view. It's flown under my desk. I've got to stand up. It's going to go at me short leg.
Uh-oh.
Sorry.
You're not even wearing any trousers either. What's going on?
It's gone up my bum. Crane fly up my bum. I don't know where it's gone, but it looked big. I don't think it had a stinger.
Right.
All right, panic over. Fine.
Listen out for more of that.
So, yeah, I would see... They did something like that slightly on a bigger scale because it was for, like, the World Cup.
Yeah.
But at the Showcase Cinema in Bristol, they had... you could go in and watch all the games for free.
Mm. Yeah. I think it'd be a good idea to do that. I don't think they should charge for it. And I think someone like Microsoft as a gesture of goodwill should like sponsor those events and be like, yeah, all of our showcase is going to be here, and then any presentation that was going to be showing Xbox games, cross-platform games, then they could say, look, we got captured audience here. Xboxes, and then on the way out, here's a discount card. Have this.
I guess people they can watch it on the internet, which avoids social interaction. And I don't want to generalise with gamers.
Yeah, but you're gonna power on through. Go on.
Well, because I know I'd rather than if I didn't have to mingle with people, I'd rather be at home watching it on the computer than being in a cinema. Although maybe I wouldn't. I would make out like I'm not social. I am really. I just make it out. Sorry, that thing's just flown out the window. It's gone.
You've got to stop this.
It just put me on edge.
Doing a podcast here. We're supposed to be professionals.
I was being attacked.
I don't care. You're supposed to be professional.
Like I was in a video game then, being attacked by some alien invader.
If that was Hairy Cornflake on the radio, and a big fly flew into his face, he'd have been in the back of that police van.
Get in the back of the van!
Hopefully the contemporary references there of Hairy Cornflake have been picked up by our mature audience, at least.
Well, I like that one, mate. That was good. Yeah. I could see that working. I would go for it, because they sold beer in that in the cinema as well.
Exactly.
I snuck my own beer in, though, mate.
Make an event of it. Oh, I knew you. You and your missus, like, the freaking Tesco version of Bonnie and Clyde.
The IKEA kleptomaniac.
Yeah.
A pram full of tea lights.
I bet you go to the shop across the road when you go into the cinema, don't you? Get a cheap bag of popcorn, some biscuits.
Big time, mate. Give it to the kids to hold as well, because they won't search them.
To be fair, the cinemas have brought that on themselves. Jacking up the price as much as they do is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, I did feel a bit bad because it was free to go and watch the football, and I couldn't even bother to buy any of their beer. It was overpriced, though.
Unbelievable.
Sick.
That's it. Do you want to read one of yours out? That's a good idea, isn't it? You like that one?
Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, no, I have another one of yours, mate. How many have you got?
My second one, I'll save my third one. I was going to use that one for my second one. Right. That's right. Genuine surprises, and this goes back to what we said on a previous podcast about was it the Sega Saturn, and it was like, oh no, it was Dreamcast, wasn't it? It's out now. Oh, was it Saturn? The Saturn.
It was the Saturn, the Saturn.
So a genuine surprise like that, and I enjoyed the Sony's last year when it was PT. Was it the PT demo? And it was like, it's out now. I'm a big fan of those things. I love it. And it also goes back to what I was saying earlier on in the podcast, when it was like, they seem to be revealing a lot of what they're going to be talking about at their press conferences, like weeks in advance now. But it feels like, I don't know, maybe there are going to be some genuine surprises this year, but it feels like the things that they're going to talk about, we already sort of know.
Right.
So, I mean, if they'd have said, I don't know, maybe it has worked, because EA have said, oh, it's working on the Battlefield engine, on the Frostbite engine, like, that feels like it's diminished the impact of it now. But then if I look at it a different way, it's made me intrigued to want to see more at E3. So maybe it has won. Maybe they did do well there.
Yeah, well, hopefully there will be like demo, because there's nothing that shouldn't. I mean, that is a good thing about technology and all that sort of thing. You don't have to be at E3 to play stuff.
Yeah.
If, release the key demos.
Unleash the hounds
on the store or whatever, or wherever you get your games.
Yeah.
And then play them. Try them for yourself. Save a lot of bloody air miles, that's for sure.
I'll tell you what they could do. They could go, hey, look, Uncharted fans at the Sony event. Not the Microsoft one, that would just be weird. But at the Sony event, they go, hey, Uncharted fans, hey, look at this massive chunk of DLC that we've got for Uncharted. like a new story mission and this is what I think, a new story mission following Sam and I know I almost said Sam and Ella then. Used to live when I was younger. My grandparents used to live next door to two elderly people as well called Sam and Ella. Brilliant. But
I should know someone called Teresa Green.
Oh yeah. But
True.
if it was like Sam and what's he called? The older guy?
Ella.
No, the older guy.
Dan, Nigel, Dave, Michael,
no,
Nathan,
Edmonds. No, who's
Sam and Nathan?
No, who's the bloody
Sully?
Sully, yes. The Adventures of Sam and Sully. I'm not sure how many people would be mega keen to play as Sam, but if they did that and then they was like, and it's available now, right now, that'd be amazing. Something like that. Do you know what I mean? Just a surprise, something that's like.
Some people were saying that maybe Sony would do that with their funky console because there's the risk of it. You know, if they have the console, the Neo there, and then say, "Oh, it's going to be ready in 12 months," it'll slow down sales of the PS4 because no one's going to want to. They might as well just hold on for 12 months. So people are thinking maybe they'll just reveal it. But breaking news.
Ding ding ding. Back to the Norse code again.
Good, mate. I like it. Yamas. On the Financial Times have just broken a story. Sony have finally confirmed that they're doing the new console thing here. Hang on.
Worst kept secret ever.
But they said it's not going to be at E3.
Oh.
We want to assure we have a full range of the best experiences on the new system that we can showcase in their entirety, said Andrew House.
But again, Sony have got their. When I was saying before about the companies, publishers are moving further away from E3 and trying to control their own messages, their own destinies, and their own little showcases that's away from everyone else. Sony do this now, don't they? They've got their own little conference that they do. Is it PlayStation Live or something like that it's called?
PlayStation Fun House.
Yeah, that's a different thing.
Come into the PlayStation Fun House, have some fun, kids.
That sounds mega creepy. Do not go into that fun house, kids.
I'd go in, have a little look around.
Because Cundy will be in there.
It sounds like fun, a house that's fun.
With that weird fly that he keeps brandishing.
It's gone out the window of its own accord. Thank God for that.
So yeah, anyway, some sort of surprise. That's my thing. Go on you go, lad. On you go.
Surprise you guys. Okay. So have a naked day. I like the concept. No, I was first introduced to the concept of naked hour,
right?
Which some friends of mine went away and every day
swingers.
They would have. No, it's all blokes went away.
Bollocks. Swinging.
They had a naked hour where they all just sat around in the nude. I thought it'd be quite a good
swingers, mate.
That'd be quite a good concept to have at E3. Just
mates that went away, mates that have recently been away somewhere that sat around naked. Oh, it's interesting, Cundy.
So you could have or just do one of the conferences naked or something.
Why would you want to see another games journalist drunk? Why?
Why not? We're born. That's how we're born, isn't it? Nature.
Or Bobby Colt's dick. No one wants that.
Dick.
Yeah,
not in LA.
That.
Wouldn't be cold.
No.
Unless you put it in some ice cream or something. I don't know why you do that though.
You're into some weird shit.
Whatever floats your boat.
Isn't that an actual drink made with ice cream?
Whatever floats your boat.
A float. No, a float.
You have a Coke float.
A cock float.
A cock float.
That's
Coke
what you do if you put your
cream.
penis into an ice cream.
Oh, I'll tell you what, they're nice with amaretto in it.
What, penis ice cream and amaretto? Good Lord. What have you been doing in Crete?
Yamas.
Not sure.
You're not feeling the naked day?
Not entirely, no. Because that's...
All right.
It's got... Basically...
I know, that's out there, that one, I know. I probably wouldn't be that comfortable taking part in it myself, because...
You just watch.
I like normally bits and pieces covered up, really.
Just like to watch.
Unless it's for Mrs. Cundy.
Oh, come on.
And then they're out. They're out there then. Release the beast. Release the Kraken.
I can't think of a single more depressing way to make E3 worse than it is than by forcing them all to take their clothes off.
You'll like the next one.
Go on.
Do they have a farmer's market in, like, as part of it, so you could browse like local artisanal produce, so maybe like honey and cheese?
See, I thought you was actually talking about like selling like horses and cows and.
No, that's more like
a
cattle market you're talking about.
Yeah.
Different, or pannier market, you might like to call it.
You could say the cattle market exists at the Saddle Ranch.
1 2 1 2. Anyone say 1 2 1 2? Got it. Who hey whoa whoa.
You alright, mate?
That's my impression of the cattle market. They used to have one where I lived. Still got it there, cattle market. I did some. I used to replace the light bulbs in there.
How many Cundys?
They weren't normal light bulbs, they were like big halogen ones. So you had to get up the ladder and you couldn't touch the bulb with your greasy fingers, otherwise the bulb would explode and kill all the cows.
Is that how many cows did you kill?
Didn't kill any cows. Oh, we wouldn't have done it when there was animals there. It's when the market wasn't on.
Right.
So we'd have to go in, get the key from John.
Yeah.
Pop in, get up the ladder. Up the ladder, boy! Get the 500 watt in. Smash your job. Have a bit of crib in the van.
Bit of what?
A bit of crib.
What's crib?
Crib is like your lunch snack. Have a bit of crib in the van.
What's crib short for? What's crib short for?
I don't think it's short for anything, mate.
What does it mean? Does it just mean food?
Yeah, it's just have your crib, isn't it?
Bit of munch.
Have a bit of crib. No, munch means something else, mate. Have a munch on that. You want to be that's a different van.
Is that what you say around Crete? Have a munch on that.
Yamas.
Have a munch on me ferret's toe.
So I like the farmer's market idea because I like browsing locally sourced, organic, artisanal produce.
Right. Again,
Beds,
that
cheap.
seems like all of the things that you like doing. Bristol.
It can get a bit too like, video games. Put something else in there. Just break it up a bit. Just change it up. Some food. Everyone likes food and drink.
They do. Doritos.
I could have like
And Mountain
ciders,
Dew.
some nice ales and
Can
all
you
that.
imagine games journalists going around E3 inside the conference? Was it convention centre? Pissed up. No way, man. That'd be carnage. That's the way.
Carnage anyway.
That's how E3 gets cancelled. I'm saying.
I like
that.
that. I think that's probably my favourite idea. There is the farmers market.
Yeah.
Just have it in there. Yeah. So you get a chance to just mix the day up a bit.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just like it's like going to a car show and all that's there is cars.
I mean, it says it does what it says on the tin, though. To be honest. And then, do you have any more, or is that it?
I got last one.
Go on, let's have your last one. Go on,
So
you're on a roll.
So I reckon this is semi-serious. This one. This is not out there. It's not like Naked Day.
Right. That's more about semi-ons than semi-serious.
This is all on-stage demos. Should be played by whoever did the Polygon Doom video. Did you watch that?
No.
Polygon put out like a first play of Doom.
Was it fun? Was it? I imagine it was like really fun, light-hearted. Like
it's on the YouTubes if you want to seek it out.
Right.
But whoever was playing it
was he the opposite of fun?
It wasn't not they weren't fun, but just didn't seem to be. It's like they gave it to someone to play, like someone's dad to play who'd never played a video game in their life. Like didn't seem to be able to like move and aim at the same time. So every time they shot, they'd be standing still. Couldn't hit anything. Couldn't hit a fucking barn door. Just kept shooting at the floor, missing everything that was like point blank away from them. It's worth.
I need to check that out.
Yeah,
I mean, for a website that sort of prides itself on being the sort of bastions of new journalism, I find it quite. Maybe they're going in a new direction with it. Rather than being professional looking, they're just going to show how to do a video that looks shit.
Well, making it more inclusive, so you don't have to be good at games to enjoy games. Maybe that was the angle they were going for.
I need to see it.
They got pretty severely ribbed for it. I don't think it ever came down. Everyone, people made some nasty comments like this person's got some kind of disability. But
I think that's anyone playing games on the internet that isn't that specific person, right?
Right.
Like it doesn't matter how well you play it.
Yeah, well, I know when we used to play the old GTA stuff for DL Central.
Man, abysmal. Absolutely abysmal. The amount of comments that was like, fuck these guys, this is shit. Stop playing. I read a comment on one of our. I was trying to close down the channel the other week, and I read a comment on one of our videos saying, "Thank fuck you guys have left."
Well, each to their own. But we weren't never trying to be like,
No.
e-gamers.
No, it was. I mean, I think the purpose of those videos was more about the fact that it was shit, rather than trying to be the best at games. Because we're not the best at games.
I mean, whoever was playing this Polygon Doom video though, they made us look top tier.
But I mean, whereas they must have been trying to say that they were good at the game, though, right?
No, not. It did stink of it. Like, okay, we got like an intern in, worky lad, or someone's kid had been coming to the office for the day.
Right.
Just give them something to do. Doesn't really matter. I would just stick it out.
Record some footage. Was it the footage, or was it the commentary? Was it the whole?
There was no commentary on it. It was just playing. It was just like game footage. So it's just the playing was just awful. Clearly had never played a shooter before. That's what it looked like.
That sounds like something that's gone to deadline. The footage that they wanted to use had been deleted or corrupted, and all they was left with was like this shithouse stuff. And it's like, right, is it passable? Yes. Right. Well, deadline's 10 minutes. Get it up.
It would give a more realistic, because like I remember watching the Uncharted, the bit where he's driving and then he's being swinging on his thing and everything. And I thought, even at the time, it looks good now because someone's playing it who's obviously played this section about 5,000 times.
Yeah.
But what's it going to look like when I play it? And sure enough, it was a lot different when I played it.
Some of my favourite bits of Uncharted 4 was when he fell to his death. When I was like jumping across to something and completely misjudged where it was I was supposed to get off at, and then fall into his death, and then like Sam or Elena or whoever it was going, Nate. As he like falls down and all the screen turns grey.
The dying bit looked pretty weak ass in Uncharted.
Yeah, it really
I
did.
Think.
Yeah,
it seems to like suddenly turn into like a PS1 game or something when the screen went grey.
Yeah, it's like it's almost like they didn't know what to do with that. It's almost like they didn't want you to die in the game.
Yeah.
Who knew? Shall I say my last one on how to improve E3 and we'll wrap this section up?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
I've done all the best ones anyway. So.
Every year they talk about who won E3.
Yeah.
And there's no real way to sort of measure who won E3 other than what journalists say or what the people watching
instinct.
it. Yeah, gut instinct, or what people actually think. If there's a Nintendo fanboy, Sony fanboy, Microsoft fanboy, they're always going to think that their own person won it, their own team won it.
Aye.
But we've got a definitive way of how to prove it.
Which is good.
So, all three of the big three select the toughest fighter within their company.
Right.
And then they have a cage fight where all three of them face off against each other until there is only one man or woman standing. And that person is then declared the official winner of E3. And they get a belt. And they can put it on all of their packaging for the next year, on Sony packaging, on Microsoft packaging, on Nintendo packaging. It has like a title belt, and it says E3 winner of E3 2016.
Would they be naked? Could you like combine this with Naked Day?
We can try and incorporate that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that could be like the climax of Naked Day is.
There'll be no climaxes. We're just being naked.
Come on, mate.
So they would be able to say it, all of their packaging, all of their advertising, winner.
E3.
Yeah, E3. What do you reckon?
Yeah, as long as they're naked and it took place in the middle of the farmer's market.
Naked, farmer's market,
free cider for all.
Greased up?
Greased up.
Greased up. So if you're listening, organisers of E3, get on that.
He does it. He organises it.
ESA?
ESA. It's in the game.
I think I've just made that up, and I'm not even going to try and check it. So
E3 Limited, I think.
Yeah, I think it is. Anyway, that's enough about that. That's how we'd improve E3. Send us your ideas how you'd improve E3 on Twitters, on the old twits. Cundy and Nathan. At Cundy and Nathan show, I think it is. I really should have made it. Really should have made it more memorable, shouldn't I?
Hang on.
What does the social media monkey say?
It is Cundy Nathan Show.
So that's what the social media monkey just said to you?
At Cundy Nathan Show it is.
There we go. So send us your ideas for how you would improve it, and we'll probably read some of those out next week. Listeners' questions. It's listeners' questions time. There you go. There's the jingle for that.
Nice.
Yeah, we never actually did one, but it's there. There it is. So
anyway,
anyway,
just do that.
There, yeah, we'll clip that, loop it, get it done.
Boosh.
I need a keyboard over the top of it though. An actual keyboard, not you impersonating one. Right, so first person to send us a questione is Thomas Harrison Lord.
To her lord.
Yes, who says, thoughts on NBA 2K16 and Gone Home as this month's PS Plus games. Personally, he thinks it's clever marketing from 2K because it's coming out just before 17, NBA 2K17.
Yeah.
What do you think? I've not played Gone Home, so I'll let you answer that one. I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, this P2P... probably NBA 2K, probably not for me. I might give it a go just because it's free, but it looks a bit too serious simulation-y for me.
You know the story's done by Spike Lee, yeah?
Story?
The story. There's a career mode story that's done by Spike Lee.
Right, okay, I'm a bit more interested now.
There you go.
See, I don't know what the last good thing Spike Lee did. I did watch a Spike Lee a while ago.
Well,
I can't remember what.
NBA 2K16, mate.
Yeah. It's not Do the Right Thing, is it?
I don't know. I'll tell you who doesn't like the story in it. Eddie Rose. We've got a question for him coming up, but he doesn't like the story. See, I've seen him complain about that story many a time.
Right, maybe I'll check it out then, because it sounds pretty... he did the Old Boy. That's what he did. He did the Western one of Old Boy, which I didn't think... It could have been a lot worse. I thought it was all right. It didn't ever need to exist, but there we go.
I think the problem with the 2K16 story is that no matter what race you make yourself, you do have a sister who is African American, regardless. Right. So it's sort of like a twin sister. And it sort of like jars with this realistic storyline. So it's a bit strange, but I mean, well, I'll give it a
little nibble. That's the trouble with customization when you got a certain angle on your narrative.
Exactly, mate. Exactly.
But it is basketball.
It is basketball. So you are right. Oh, that's racial profiling, mate. What are you saying? Only black people play basketball.
That's not Citizen Kane, is it?
Citizen Kane, what's that?
Spike Lee, what a weird thing happened there. How did that come about?
He's a massive New York Knicks fan.
I like Ipswich Town, but I wouldn't write a fucking story about them.
I bet you would if they came asking.
John Moore would be my hero.
Which I guess is what happened with 2K.
John Moore would be the protagonist. I suppose Spike Lee comes and says, do you want me to do your story for you because I like basketball?
Yeah.
Then you wouldn't turn it down, would you? But
no, exactly. Or they went to him and said, legitimise our career mode.
Yeah, it's not hard though, is it? I'm just starting in basketball. Okay.
I enjoyed it.
I'm successful. The end of the story.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was all right.
It doesn't need all this.
It was daft, but it was typical Spike Lee daft.
It doesn't need all.
Are we answering Tom's question here?
So I'm not that far. I will give the NBA 2K16 a go. So I'm quite pleased it's free. That's fine, and it's what a lot of the PS Plus moaners were asking for. Give us AAA. Give us retail games.
Okay.
Gone Home. I haven't got around to playing it. It's in my library. I've got them both. Got them both in there waiting to go.
Remind me what Gone Home is. I've never played it.
It's a game about someone that goes home. And
I set myself up for that then, but I was depressed that you went for it for such an easy one.
There's beasts in it, I think. I don't really know much about it, mate. All I know is what it looks like. It's got a kind of like drawn-y, sketchy sort of look about it. You have to wander around at night. He's got a torch, is he? Like a fire torch, burning torch. And he has to hunt beasts, does he, or avoid beasts?
I don't know. You're telling me. I've asked you to remind me.
I'm going to play it. Ask me again when I play. But yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy enough with that.
I think
the Vita offering this month wasn't great, but
I think it's not been great for a while.
I don't know. I would dispute that fact. I've been happy with. Well, I played God of War on the plane, didn't I? Did I mention I've been on holiday?
No, you haven't actually. Where have you been?
Yamas. Well, funnily, I was playing God of War on the plane on the way home, and it was one of the levels is set in Crete.
Oh yeah.
And it's actually in Heraklion,
Yeah.
which is where the airport is. I was there. Looked completely different. I didn't see any Gorgons when I was there, I must admit.
No.
But Heraklion apparently named after Hercules, which I learned from the game. Yeah.
Hang on. Herculean.
Heraklion is the name of the place where
Which
the airport
sounds Herculean, like Herculean,
as
in massive effort.
Yeah. So that was quite interesting.
Godlike effort.
So that was quite good. And then what else? Broforce I really enjoyed. Played that absolutely cane that. Dead Star. Man, I love Dead Star. I missed that game.
So you're getting a lot out of PS Vita at the moment?
PS Plus.
All right. Okay. No, I was complaining about Vita.
Oh, yeah, Vita. Yeah, it's not done.
Yeah, PS Plus has been decent. PS Vita, not great.
Decent.
Not
Vita.
great.
No.
I told you, I fired it up a while ago when it was like 20 million updates.
Right.
And it just spoilt it for me. Just to answer Tom's question, I've no idea about Gone Home. I completely agree with Cundy about the AAA title. Like, I think that's a really good thing to have done. And also, it's a clever thing to do because of the NBA 2K17 that's coming out, but also because we're right in the middle of the NBA Finals. So basketball fans around the world are at the absolute peak of their interest in it.
A frenzy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a good move. They haven't really got much to lose because it's the problem with doing those sorts of games is they become redundant every year. 12 months, done.
Yeah.
Redundant.
Exactly.
Out of date.
Alundra Wellman says it's more of a... Well, this is a question, I guess, but he goes on to talk about it a little bit more. He says, did you know that you can't send someone in Australia manhunt? Says it'll get seized if they catch it.
Well, it's because it's banned over there. They banned quite a lot of games in Australia,
They do. He says, I played Manhunt earlier. It's pretty well made, but it's not actually that violent. It's just a bit grim. I think people get worked up over the name. Even Manhunt 2 on the Wii, where you have to make the stabbing motions with the Wiimote, isn't bloodier or nastier than 100 films or games I could name off the top of my head. I think he's got a point there.
I found Manhunt quite...
I think it's just more. It's just more. Yeah, like you said, it's grim. It's not. I think it's like. It's because it's supposed to be a snuff movie, and I think at the time, I think in retrospect it's nothing, but at the time it was like quite a big thing, especially if you played it with the headset. You remember you played it with the headset, and like Starkweather could hear you breathing.
Yes.
Like so, yeah, that was pretty. Or was it Starkweather that could hear you breathing, or was it the characters that was nearby? I think it was the enemies that were nearby. Yeah. Don't play it if you're like a 40-a-day smoker, because otherwise you just get caught all the time. He does actually have a question further on from that. He says, what are the odds on consoles adopting the iPhone and iPad model of updates in regards to console hardware?
Well,
so like, because you don't have a proper phone, do you? You still got that bit of those two cups and that string, haven't you?
I got a ZTE.
Yeah.
That well-known.
Still got that.
phone.
Still got that Nokia, haven't you?
Well, it's not much more than a Nokia. It's not got a snake on it though.
Snake. I think. I don't know. I think they could do. What he's talking about is like the full sort of software update. In fact, doesn't Microsoft actually do something like that at the moment?
Well, weirdly, I was reading something this morning. Old Phyllis McSpencer, old hands in pockets Spencer.
Is that how he's known?
Down he's always got his hand
way.
in his pocket. He's always got one hand in his pocket.
Because he's got the auto cue speed dial thing on there.
It's because he's taking his pockets out and he's just playing with his.
Come on, mate. Come on.
Playing with little Phil.
Come on.
One-eyed Phil.
We don't need this.
Phil McSkill.
Stop it.
He was saying the other day he's interested in that 2-year cycle of, that model, that iPhone kind of upgradey model. And I think I think Sony are interested in it as well. I mean, I think the Neo is probably an indication of where things are kind of heading. Like what's like an 8-year life cycle for consoles
10.
is just, it seems pretty just too long nowadays.
Really?
Well, I think it does for the people that want to be making stuff. They want to have access to 8 years, hell of a long time in technology. Things change fast.
But I mean, with the updates, the recent updates, I know they changed like the dashboards and things like that, but that's sort of what the iPhone updates do at the moment, right? Because I mean, it can't. Well, it can't improve the hardware much, even or at all. It's more just making it slightly quicker and, you know, various other things. It can't make the graphics any better.
Yeah, I don't know. I know. Another thing Phil Spencer was saying as well. He'd like the model of having your being able to play your full library of games on whatever the newest thing was that you had as well. So he was trying to solve that problem of backwards compatibility. So constantly.
That's sort of like what Nintendo's having a go at the moment, isn't it? Because they're going to put Mario on there, on the iPhone, iPad, and I think Android as well.
I don't know what they're doing, mate.
It's not for you, is it? You're out of your depth here. Should we move on?
Phones. I can't. Yeah. What? Just
Mark Walsh. It's all right, mate. It's all right.
Put the finger in the thing, spin the wheel round, put the number in, done. That's what I want out of a phone.
Put your finger in the thing, spin the numbers round, and what?
Well, you know, the old dial-up. You know.
Oh, I thought you were talking about your swingers haven again. Mark Walsh, Captain Fudgesicle, says, has an advert ever convinced you to buy a game which you regretted? I'm sure it has over the years.
I think I've won.
I'm sure it has over the years.
Well, it's quite hard because I've never. Because all the years when you're like getting sent free games, you don't have to worry about all of that. You see, but I'm just trying to think getting sent free games.
Think about back to your Commodore 64 days, mate.
I
don't know. I can't.
They weren't really advertising for games then, not like you get now, not like at the bloody cinema, that's for sure. Oh, come and play Jet Set Willy on the Commodore 64 computing device.
I think I've probably picked up Spectrum games before that were bought on the basis of what they showed on the box, and then and then they were nothing like what was in the actual game. I mean that was always going to happen. I mean, like Harrier Attack was another game that was like that. It's like, look, jets, and then you got it, and it's like hit space bar.
I mean, I guess back then that was their biggest, other than they may have had a few mag ads or poster ads back then. But what the box looked like was everything. The box artwork. I mean, all the old Atari artwork. I love all that. I think it looks great. Yeah. But yeah, pretty misleading, most of it.
Yeah. I think probably back in the day the advertising made me regret. Well, the advertising never lived up to what the actual game was like.
Yeah.
But Mark Walsh, he stopped short of actually telling us which game he regretted buying.
Yeah, it must have been inspired by a purchase.
Exactly.
You know.
Jurassic Farts says, you usually do something here, mate.
No.
There we go. There we go. He says, is Luigi's last name Mario? Then Mario would have to be called Mario. If not, why are they the Mario brothers? I think it's well known, isn't it, that it's Mario?
Yeah, that's it. Mario.
Yeah.
Luigi Mario.
Yeah. And then he also asks if him and Captain Fudgesicle, they have a bit of a conversation saying whether the Super Mario Bros. Movie was canon. Do you know?
Well, I don't think it can't have been canon. No, I don't think it was canon.
No?
Nah. I mean, Nintendo would have had a green light it, but they were all high on something, surely. I don't think I've ever seen that movie.
High on mushrooms, I imagine.
I
saw, I think the director did an interview. Again, I just read the headline, didn't read the article. But the director was apparently quoted as saying that from start to finish, Super Mario Brothers was an absolute nightmare to make.
I bet.
It was just terrible to turn it into a story, and to direct it was just awful. Can imagine that though, can't you?
Yes.
Can imagine it being chatola.
Maybe I should try and watch it.
Dean Brown says remasters, good or bad? ? As long as they're making new original content alongside it, I'm all for it. What do you reckon? How do you feel about remasters?
I'd personally, if I've already played the game, I'm not really that interested in going back. There's too much stuff to play. I don't have time to go back and cover old ground. Although I did enjoy the Ico remaster on PS3. They did
yawn.
Although I did say rather playing Ico.
But our game's art.
But then I can rattle through that in just over 4 hours. So that's not really too much.
That's not rattling through. That's 4 hours you could apply elsewhere, doing something better.
If there's going to be like a Skyrim HD, I didn't play the first one because it was too long. The thought of going back through that again, jeez Louise.
Back through the scrim. I'm not
Scrim in prettier versions, upspuffed.
Sod that.
You've upspuffed my Skyrim.
I think I like the idea of remasters because they open up the audience to other people. Like they open themselves up to a new audience. So it can only be a good thing because, for example, if they remade SSX3 and it was really popular, then would they make another SSX? If they did that with Skate, I'm all about EA games. Maybe I'm a massive EA fanboy, but if they did another Skate, like a remaster, and it did well, then it means that they might get another game out of it. So I'm all for it, but I do think like when it does come to remasters, unless it's something like I love Canis Canamedit Bully, aka Bully, but I went to download it the other day after I saw that Rockstar had re-released it, remastered version. I was like, nah, I'm all right, thanks. Played it, done it.
Yeah, because I think they had the God of War 3 remasters in a sale recently, and I was very tempted to pick it up, and then I was like, oh no, but I've got these other things I've not even played yet.
Exactly.
So I'm not doing it. But there must be, if it wasn't commercially worth, all those decisions would be driven by money. So some people must be buying it. Like I say, if you missed it first time round, brilliant, great, play the upspuff.
Exactly. He also asks, are you ready for another summer of ridiculous optimism, only to have all faith shattered by watching England?
Champion! I'm looking forward to it, mate. Starts tomorrow, doesn't it?
Cheering on the UAE, mate.
England,
they in it?
Are they in Europe? United Arabs of Europe?
No, they don't play in that. They don't play in that. And no, it doesn't start tomorrow. It starts tonight. France versus Romania.
It doesn't start till England kicks off, mate.
Is that it?
They've
already kicked off. There was fighting in Marseille, mate. So there you go. It's already well underway.
Yeah, that's sick, isn't it? Well, we still talked about that about 4 hours ago. Was at the start of this podcast, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Eddie, I'm excited about it. I'm looking forward to the Wales game because it's 2:00 on a Thursday afternoon, and I am going to get fucking smashed right up, mate, for that.
Yeah. It's weird because
I'll be cheering on Wales.
I'll be watching it
against England, but
I'm watching it out here, and we're in the midst of Ramadan, so the bars and stuff aren't open. So they're not open till the sun goes down.
Won't let the sun go down. Come on.
Interesting fact that I saw from on Twitter the other day was that if you live at the top of the Burj Khalifa, which is the tallest building in the world in Dubai, then you get I think it's like an extra minute of a day, because you can see the sunrise earlier and the sun goes down later than everywhere else.
Extra minute, mate.
No,
I don't need it.
No. What would you do with it though if you had that extra minute?
Just look at the sun.
Excellent. Moving right on. Eddie Rose says, "What's the best thing you've done that nobody was around to see?"
I'll pick a rose for Eddie Rose. Somehow I know he knows. That no one was around to see.
Yeah, this reminds me of that Simpsons episode where George Bush is jogging down the street, and his dog runs after him, and Homer says to himself, that dog's chasing up the wrong bush, and his brain goes, well done, Homer, that's the best thing that you'll ever say, and no one was around to hear it. Slow clap. what was the best thing? I don't know.
Oh,
I rescued that bird and no one was around to see it.
right.
I rescued another bird recently and no one was around to see it. That was quite nice.
I pulled a small child from a burning building, and I didn't want to make a fuss, so I just left them on the side.
To die?
No, then I went to some bushes and phoned the emergency services.
Right.
And waited until they had made sure the child was safe.
Right. That sounds like an act of guilt. The fact that you hid away and
I just didn't want to make a big fuss, mate. Papers, people would want to give me rewards, all that. I didn't want it.
And obviously, you were thinking of like paraffin at the time, yeah. You'd started the fire, and you'd ran off, and you got guilty, come back, saved the kid, and then decided that you couldn't be around when the police got there.
I can't. I've done some pretty good stuff that no one was around to see, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, only your imagination could limit that, really, to whatever you wanted to say. Flavour Dave Pickering says, will you ever have your own merchandise? I'd love a T-shirt with your mugs or a pasty on it.
Imagine that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I thought about opening a pasty shop when I was on holiday, actually. Did I tell you I was been on holiday?
I'll tell you what, mate, if the UK leaves the EU, your pasties are gone, mate.
What are you talking about?
Yep.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, pasty tax, apparently. There is. It's a legitimate thing. They're gone.
Mate.
Ginsters,
they'll never kill pasties. They've tried in the past, but never.
Pasties,
They're too big now. They're too massive. They're too mainstream. People wouldn't stand for it. There'd be kicking mobs in the street.
I've got some terrible news for you. I know you've been drawing up your business plans for your Dubai pasties.
Yeah.
As in Dubai pasties.
Yeah.
Already delivering them, mate.
What, pasties?
Yeah.
What, there's a shop there you can walk in and buy them from?
That does pies and pasties. They'll deliver them to your house.
Can you walk into the shop and buy them?
I don't think so.
Well,
no one walks anywhere out here, mate. There's no
Why
shops
not?
to walk into. It's too hot. It's 42 degrees out there now.
That's nothing.
How hot was it in Crete?
It's twice that.
How hot was it in Crete?
I don't know. I think it's at least high 20s.
At least. Looks up internet weather for Crete.
I wouldn't be surprised. It felt like it was at least 30, but But it was so hot.
You did hear me say it's 42 degrees out here now, right?
That's different heat, though.
Yeah, it's hotter heat.
That extra minute of the day allows some of the heat to disperse.
No. Will we ever have merchandise? I don't know.
Maybe. I could draw on a mug I could go to one of those shops where you can decorate your own plates and just do a load up.
You could do that. Maybe you could just do that for Dave.
I could have a craft day on my own, and then that'd be the best thing I'd ever done on my own.
We could do a live podcast and have like a little trestle table full of merchandise that you've made.
Artisanal plates.
Yeah. And you could hand them out.
Have it in the farmer's market.
Yeah.
Eat for it.
We did. I know this is loosely. Oh no, I'll save that till the end. It doesn't matter.
Oh, teasers.
Oh, multi teasers. Shayna and Elvis, not seen him for a while.
No.
Remember we used to see him quite a bit.
Well, we had a big night
twice.
up in London with him once, didn't we?
I think I left home. Not left home. I think I went back early, didn't I?
Oh, mate.
I went back early. That's when you fell down the stairs.
Fell down the stairs at the tube station, trying to slide all cool like down the banister, and just I went to the hospital about that in the end. It was hurting for like a week after. I had an X-ray.
Fell on your tailbone, was it?
Oh, right on the old coccyx, mate.
Yeah.
I was in some pain with that. It's a good night, though. It was a good laugh, that.
I remember being there for the first part of it and having a few drinks, because old Raph was there, right?
Right. Oh, yeah, Raph was there. I got really messy. I think a bottle of poppers might have been involved even as well.
Get off. You can't say this. You can't say this. Like, if the police are listening to this podcast, there's like 3 counts of like criminal activity that you could be done for here.
No, poppers is still legal. Went down because it was in Soho. Popped in a sex shop and bought some poppers and went back to the pub again. Fucking mess. That was messy. That was
a bad night. That was a big night.
Anyway,
he says, will demos ever make a comeback? Most AAA games opt out for betas, but once that's gone, there's no way to try it. It's a pity. I think demos are still a thing, right?
Yeah, they're not. I remember when Microsoft said, "Oh, we'll have demos of all our games," or something. That soon went down the Swanee when everyone realised if you try it, you might not want to buy it anymore. But look at the beta for Overwatch. That certainly worked. That worked pretty well.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it can kill a game. But then, if people don't like your game,
if you're confident of it, I think less than a demo. I think. In fact, no, there should be a demo. Oh. Didn't they do a thing? Like when PlayStation 4 first came out, I might be going mad here, or where they had like a timed thing on games where you could play it for like 10 minutes or 5 minutes or so. It was like a demo, but they had like a timed thing, and then it was like, do you want to buy this game? Maybe I dreamt it.
I don't know, mate.
Sounds like a good idea though, right? I don't think demos will come back unless like publishers are more confident in people playing their games and not saying sod that, I'm not getting it.
Yeah, they're happy when they're shoving trailers in your eyeballs and stuff.
But with the betas anyway, they're giving away a lot more of the game than they would in the demo. Yeah? True?
Yeah.
True or false?
Yeah. If Stella Artois did a video game, they should call it Wife. And then when they do the beta, it'd be Wife Beta.
Jay Gale says, boss fights can ruin an otherwise great game. What would you replace them with? I am a massive fan and advocate of the realistic boss fight, as long as it's obviously not a massive robot or whatever. But you know, at the end of like Uncharted, like just one hit. Let me kill him with one hit. Let me knock him out, or let me just do something and he's dead.
Yeah, Call of Duty does that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I like the end of Modern Warfare or whatever it was, where you have to shoot the guy. It's quite dramatic, sliding the gun along and
shoot his arm off.
See,
oh no, I'm thinking of that was the one before. Yeah, that's the sniper bit. The Gilly's in the mist.
Gilly's pissed up.
He's pissed up.
That'd be good to play that, like pissed up Gilly, like staggering everywhere. Be good if you fell in the bush. No one would know. You might be undiscovered for weeks.
And then just die, just rotting.
So there's a pair of feet sticking out of this bush.
And then you pull it out, and all that'd be left is Captain Price's moustache.
Pissed up Gilly man. Don't be so silly, Gilly.
I think boss fights are crap.
I don't mind boss fights.
I've never been a massive fan of them. I think like the boss fight in the Salanthropus boss fight in MGS5 was just stupid. It just felt like I know that game is like it's not supposed to be realistic, obviously, but I don't know. It felt like it jumped a big metallic shark.
If you've got an enemy like your antagonist, you want to have a confrontation with them at some point. I mean, if it's a rubbish boss fight, it's a rubbish boss fight.
I think it has to make sense. It can't just be like a lot of them are shooting just a normal person 20 times and them not dying.
Yeah, it's got to fit the context of how you've got to that point. If up to that point you've been driving a car and throwing custard pies at someone, you can't then have a rocket launcher and have to kill him.
What's that game that you throw custard pies out of? Because it sounds interesting. Sounds like something I might play.
CTA, Clown Theft Auto, it's called. Might have heard of it.
Yeah, that's where all the doors fall off the car, right? but your crew that you can get online, you can fit about 16 people in one car. Yeah.
It's a clown, just clowns.
Yeah.
It's called Sid Meier's Clowns.
All right. I mean, that's a yeah. Yeah, I see what you mean. But yeah, boss fights. Just make them. They have to be.
If they're good, yeah, good.
I think the reason is that developers spend so much time on the build up to get there. Like, I think by the time they get to the actual boss fight, it's difficult to know how to end it. Like it's like, how do we prolong this bit of game? Like the sword fight at the end of Uncharted 4. It's unnecessary. Like, why is he a sword? Where did he learn this skill?
Fencing.
Yeah, but where was that ever mentioned before? There was no didn't even try to put any juxtaposition in there to suggest how this happened, how he was so good.
You just swording. I didn't like the sword. I didn't like the mechanics of the sword fight.
No, I didn't, because I
didn't mind the idea of it, but I thought it poorly executed.
But I think at the end of Uncharted 2, or it might be 1, where it's like on the end of it's on a barge in between like loads of containers, and the guy that you're fighting can take 1 million bullets and grenades, and then I think you end up beating him by knocking him out with a punch that drags him and the tomb of whoever it is down to the bottom of the sea.
Oh God!
So it's a bit weird. So yeah, less boss fights for me, unless it makes sense.
I'm happy as long as they're good ones.
Happy, yeah.
I'm just happy, mate.
Good. Jimmy Redpath, who I've seen, he ends up sending a message every other week. But they always include Dean Brown on there, because he asks, have these guys ever answered a question that you've asked?
We've done one from old Brownie, haven't we?
We have. I think we answered 2 questions from him, and I think we generally answer a question from him every week. So yeah, we do.
Have that, old Johnny Redpath. What was he called?
Jimmy Redpath.
That was close. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
That's good memory skills.
Well, it wasn't. It was terrible, because I'd only mentioned it a few seconds ago, and it was 2 names that you had to remember.
Do you reckon Redpath's his actual surname, or is it like a made-up online name?
I don't know. Possibly.
I'm quite interested. Let me know. There might be a blue path out there or something as well. All the primary colours.
Get in touch. Let us know.
Primary paths. Primary colour paths.
Will you still do and will you still dee-da? Commodore 64.
That jingle there, it can only mean one thing.
And it's the best thing.
It's the best thing. It's the best thing. Seen a lot of complaints about this section.
It's people have got a bit funny about it.
They have got a bit funny about it.
Yeah.
Some saying that it's the lack of interest that's ruining it. Some people saying that it's the lack of interest that's ruining it. Other people quite angry about the lack of interest in it as well. So I'm going to try and be positive about this one.
Well, this is going to be really... You'll be interested in this, I know.
Yes. Because?
Because this is an E3 special, yes. I thought I might as well go back to when the Commodore 64 was revealed.
Oh, so you actually know then? You know how it was revealed and...
Aha! Well, it's... it was... Well, funny you should ask that, Nathan.
Yes.
It was... what year do you reckon it was revealed, mate?
82.
Fucking hell, did you know that?
Was it?
Yeah.
Was it really?
Yeah. Do you know where it was revealed?
If I had to guess, I'd say something like London.
No, it's in America.
Oh, right, okay.
London. Come on, mate. It was at the Winter Consumer Electronics Show, in fact, in 1982.
Like a CES type thing?
Well, CES, that's exactly what it was. Consumer Electronics Show.
There we go.
Yeah, which is pretty mental. I mean, in 1982, I don't quite know what else had been showing off. Like phones that you still use your finger when it's got the dialy wheel on it, I suppose.
Yeah.
And what else?
Although, would the wheelie finger phone count as an electronic?
Good point. Mechanical show that would have been. They would have had those,
just down the road at the mechanical show.
They would have had the the horse games you have in arcades where you put like 5p on a horse to win, and then the mechanical horses go along.
That's rigged.
A bit.
Yeah.
And like light guns where you have to shoot the old.
No, I think that's electronics
rednecks on the toilet.
I think that would be electronics. Yeah.
Although it all works on mechanicals stuff, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
But yeah, so in 1982 it was revealed to the world, and it went down really well. Response to it was very positive. But the interesting thing was they only started work. They only decided that they were going to reveal something at the show 6 weeks prior to the show.
Wow!
So can you imagine like nowadays?
How it takes, like, surely they work on, like, Sony and Microsoft and Nintendo work on their presentations like from the moment the presentation ends to the 12 months later when they're doing it again.
The lifespan of beginning to end. I think it took, once they decided they were going to show something, after that decision had been made, it took 2 days for them to have the basic plans of what it was going to be, and then from there they had the first prototypes for the machine finished in 4 weeks.
Wow!
So they did it with 2 weeks to spare. Took them 4 weeks to come up with and build and have prototypes of a working Commodore 64. And that you couldn't do that now.
Do you know how they revealed it? Was it?
No. Do you know what? I was really looking around.
Was it
for
Usher?
It was really. I was looking around for some footage or something, but I don't think they had.
Oh, really?
There might have been like some sketches, you get like a courtroom artist.
Oh, yeah.
I thought there might have been some of that. I don't know why though, because 1982 wasn't that long ago. Everything was in colour and there were photos and there were people taking videos, but unfortunately I could find nothing of it.
There was documentary footage from the World Wars, so I imagine that cameras were around.
I mean, it was the electronics show, for God's sake. There should have been someone there with a pig and camera. That's the whole point. But yeah, so they got that all done in 4 weeks.
Wow.
Which is amazing. So they had 2 weeks to just sit around and, do whatever it was they decided to do.
I wonder what the pressure was like during those days. I mean, like, it sounds like they wouldn't have give two shits about, it's ready now, so yeah, let's do it. Like, no, they wouldn't have needed any more testing or anything like that. It would have just been like right, we're ready to go.
It's done.
As compared to this, like, what it's like now.
And it would have been so easy to keep it secret as well. I mean, with no social media, no internet, no nothing like that. It would have just been like some stoner guys sitting around soldering some chips onto a board or something, I expect. Exactly like that.
That's exactly what it was like, yeah.
But the big thing, the reason it was so well received, I mean, it was going up against. There was no other like big. It wasn't a console. Computer launches in '82 at that particular show.
Yeah.
But they're like their competitors were like Apple and IBM.
Right.
Who were banging stuff out, but the Commodore was like $600, which was
sorry, how much?
$600 in 1982.
Woo!
But that still made it loads more cheaper than its competitors. Like the Apple and IBM things were being banged out for $1,400.
Was the BBC Micro out then as well?
Pardon?
The BBC Micro, was that out then?
It might have been, but it wouldn't have been at the Consumer Elect. That would have been at like Clive Sinclair's shed or something. in
Did Clive
Wrexham.
Sinclair make the BBC Micro?
No, he didn't. I was just putting together two.
Don't ever cross the streams, man.
But yeah, so that's mental. I mean, at 1400. I mean, when Sony said what was there, but that was $599, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, that went down like a sack of shit. And in 1982, Commodore was being praised for releasing a computer at $600. That must have been like the equivalent of £3 million.
Yeah, I mean, you've never been good at inflations, but yeah.
That's not what Mrs. Cundy says, mate.
Well, and that sex doll that you bought. So I think that's a lot of money. That is. But it's relative at the time, isn't it? It's like, future tech at the time. You was like, holy shit, here's like, it must have been like revealing like the PS4 now. Yeah,
but in a really short time frame and not really caring about anything. And it went into because it was so well received. It went into like full on production after the show, straight after the show, pretty much, and then was on sale in August '82. So they think they started working on it in like November, '81, and then August '82, the bad boy was out in the shops.
Wowzers! That is
10
mental.
months.
That is mental.
Hang on, is that right? November, December, January, June, July, August. Yeah, 10 months from nothing to like a guy going, there's this show coming up in 6 weeks. We should do something. Oh yeah, I've got something on the back of a napkin. Here we go. Yeah. 10 months later, bomb, it's out, doing it.
Done.
Flying out the door, mate.
Done. I want to see. I really want to see the video. I need to see video footage of it.
I don't know if have you seen the Steve Jobs film? Is it called Big Jobs or something like that?
Big
the
Jobs.
One Danny Boyle.
Oh yeah, Big Jobs. Yeah.
Yeah, the one Danny Boyle did.
No.
It's quite good. Worth a watch, mate. Because that has like some of the early Apple before it was. I'm out my depth. Apple II was it? The one that Steve Wozniak was doing, and Jobs looks a right old penis in it as well.
Right.
And I wouldn't have liked the guy.
Well,
didn't like him. Control freak.
Well,
but,
it's fine. Because I remember you did that jig when you found out he died, didn't you?
No, I'd never do that, mate. Come on, you're trying to paint me in a bad light again. You always do this.
You do a good job of that yourself.
This is slander. I'll give it a watch, mate. But yeah, and the other thing I found out, that the Commodore 64 has sold more than the Wii U.
That does not surprise me. I think me and you could make a console tomorrow and launch it and only have it out for 3 weeks, and we'd probably sell more than Wii U.
Well, and it's also sold 4 times as much as the PlayStation Vita. I know the C64's,
Yeah.
But it was, the C64 went on to sell 17 million by the time it stopped, ended production. And I think the Wii U's only on like 14 or something.
I wonder, like all I can think about is how they would have shown their games on a big screen.
Imagine loading the games up. Oh yeah, give us 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Here we go.
10 minutes. What's that noise? Beep, beep, beep.
Well, the early games didn't even have that. It just had like silence. Some of them just had the blue screen. They didn't even have like different colour screen or anything.
They could have put in like audience participation. Did it draw it in line by line? At the loading part?
Not in the
title
early
screen.
days. That all came later, mate. That was well after 1982.
Forget it then. I was going to say they could have had audience participation where like on Catchphrase where they press a buzzer to stop it and they say it's
right,
Crazy Golf or something like that.
I guess you wouldn't want to stop it though, just in case it messed the tape up and all that. But
yeah, that is true.
I'm sure they might have had it all preloaded. But yeah, I don't know. I couldn't find any footage of it. I did find lots of interesting Commodore 64 footage, which I might share at some point.
Do you remember what the launch games were?
No, I don't think it was ever really. It wasn't really sold at first as a games machine. It was sold as a computer. It's a home computer for doing. If you look at all the old advertising, it's like guys sitting around looking at doing budgets and that's what it sold as. But I think they quickly realised its potential as a gaming machine, just because it was so much better than anything else that was out there.
Well, I'm just looking on C64 website.
You got that bookmarked, didn't you, mate?
I have, mate. Lemon64.com if you want to go and check it out.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And someone's sort of his official title is Grandmaster of C64, which means that he's like a forumite that's been on there for a very long time and knows a lot of stuff. He says, from memory, Jupiter Lander, Radar Rat Race, Golf, although I don't know if he's spelt golf wrong there or if it was golf. Was it actually golf?
It's probably like a Zork rip-off or something like
that. Sea Wolf, like Airwolf, but a helicopter under the sea.
I think I remember Sea Wolf. I think that had. I don't think there was any helicopters in it. I think that was like submarines and boats.
Yeah.
Like you had something.
I was just trying to be funny, like saying about Airwolf. You remember the helicopter? Can't joke about C64. It's always serious here. Do you want to know the other two?
Yeah.
Pinball.
Classic.
And Clowns. Now, Clowns seems like quite a strange game to...
We were talking about Clowns before. That's weird, isn't it?
Yeah. As a launch title, I can't even imagine what a Clowns game would be. I'm looking online. Do you remember it?
Like there'd be stuff flying along the top of the screen, dropping eggs on you or something like that. It's a bit.
You're on it. You're on it, aren't you?
No, I'm not. Is that what it is?
Well,
Is that what it is?
It's like a UFO one, yeah. But you have to. It looks like you have to move the. It's a seesaw that you move across. And you've got two clowns, and then you have to press a button to take out what looks like balloons above you, but it's all set out like Space Invaders.
It's classic gaming, mate. That's it. That was the halcyon days.
Have you ever seen that Limmy clip of the golden age of gaming?
He's playing Jump.
Yeah.
Yeah. He gets like 100 and he just goes 101, 102.
Yeah. That's how I envision all retro games whenever I think about playing them again. It's going to be no. It's
definitely more fun talking about them
than
actually experiencing them firsthand again. But that's me done for the C64 section.
I enjoyed it. Mate.
tie that in a bit with,
with E3. Yeah. I mean, if truth be told, it was me that came up with the format, but it's fine. It's fine. But next week, something new.
Aha!
Actually, something new. But I think it'll be something that we can all get into. So fans of the C64 section.
A comfortable glove.
A comfortable glove. A rubber one.
Come on, mate.
You know where that goes.
I don't know. What are you talking about? You've lost me now.
Come on. And there we go, the end of another podcast, the end of the pre-E3 podcast.
Ooh, it's been a long one.
Man, it's been long. But I guess we're not supposed to. But I mean, you have got your trousers off there, and I think either she's not got the best of eyesight, or.
Come on, mate! It's naked day here in Cundy House. Naked day every day in Cundy's house.
I know it's really off-putting. I wish you'd make the webcam just point up slightly from your groin area.
The groinal
area. So what I alluded to last time, firstly, thanks very much for all the people that have given us money for the on Podbean, for all of those. I think we're up to 17 patrons now.
$17,000.
Yeah, 17 or 18 patrons. We really appreciate it. It's all just going in a pot at the moment until we know what to do with it. Basically, all of the money is being... Well, I say that. Cundy's got the bank account connected to it, so he might have already siphoned it off.
I know what I'm doing with it. Funding my drug habit. I'm joking.
He's not.
Not
he's not, if you're listening, the police. Not Sting. Not Sting, just the police. So yeah, we're just banking it at the moment, and then we'll do something with it. But it's all to do with the podcast and making things better with the podcast. So it's not being wasted on frivolous things like cheap ales. Although Cundy is surrounded by a lot of cheap ales, supermarket ales there. So yeah, thanks very much for all of those people that are patrons. We are thinking possibly about opening up a Patreon. It just seems like a more fish where the fish are is the expression that I'm looking for. There's lots more people that are on Patreon looking for different projects to either help out or to check out. So to get more of a bigger audience to the podcast, I hope that's all right with the people that are already sponsoring us through Podbean, but it's something that we are considering. It won't mean anything to the people that are doing it, will it?
No.
You don't have to change it over, but we might launch that if we can be bothered. Because it might be a place for us to actually put down stretch goals and what we're thinking of doing in the future. Because you never know. I
don't know what I'm doing in a minute.
Exactly. So I mean, you'll be the money that you're paying at the moment is for the treatment for Cundy's memory loss. Hopefully, we'll be able to get him some short-term memory.
Yamas!
Yamas. See, he still remembers that. He only remembers certain things, though. Anyway, we'll keep you posted about that. Thanks for listening to this week's podcast. Hopefully, it's a lot better than the last one that you listened to.
It's all filler, no kill. I know. Yeah, it's all killer, no filler. I've done that the wrong way around tonight.
You have, mate. You have. Quick. Abort, eject. So thanks for listening. So it's goodbye from me.
Yamas from me.
And we shall speak to you again next week.
Hello, lovely listener. It's Cundy here. Are you enjoying your weekly dollop of tangential gaming gas bagging and mouthpiece merrymaking? If you are being entertained by our humble little podcast, please consider becoming a patron and pledging some money to show your support. To make a pledge, simply go to cundyandnathan.podbean.com and hit the big green Become a Patron button. It's that simple. Thank you in advance for being so wonderful. Give us $1 or maybe 10, and in return we'll be your friend and maybe make the podcast better.